Oh, Guinness bag. Oh my god. Oh wait. Okay, but I might go a bit slower. Dude, can I take a little, just a small real time on the tracker? On the. This is not working the way I want, but we're getting there. Maybe. I'll wait for the shadows. Oh, sorry. Ah, yes, of I really hope that you can hear me with the wind, but I want to tell you where we are. We are currently at the Namib's Valley of 1,000 hills, and yeah, the landscape is just spectacular. The only problem is the wind. Usually, like for the past 3 days, it was like this or a little bit weaker during the day, but once the sun has set below the horizon, it quickly died down, so we just hope that this is the same for tonight. Yeah, otherwise like 95% of my shots are ruined, but well, we will see. Yeah, it's just a very beautiful sight here, and I think tonight will be the first like really good astro night. As you've seen in the other nights before, there were clouds, then it was cold and we had some high clouds again, yeah, all that stuff, but this is really nice. We also have some quiver trees up there, where mostly Adrian will be for the first half of the night. Then I will also go up there and take some nice images. And yeah, lots of variety, lots of different shots that I want to have done by the end of the night. And yeah. It is finally getting dark around here, as you can see, and we are prepared. We are so prepared. We have a good plan. We have so many time lapses running. I will be doing mostly deep sky stuff tonight. So yeah, I have the dual 135mm setup behind me already. Then I will do lots of panoramas at 85mm, sort of deep sky-ish, but like super nice quality. And then after I finished all of these things, let's give that like, let's say 4 or 5 hours. Then I will switch over to the ultra wide angle lens, so 40mm or maybe even 20. Let's see what I find better. And then I will go around, and I have already so many compositions in mind. It's now fully dark and I almost broke my camera. Man, that was so weird. Just to give you a quick context, I had my Nikon Z7 on the tracker and panorama head set up here, but one of the knobs to secure the nodal rail here wasn't fully tightened, and while I was walking down here, it fell down like from 1.5 meters straight on the ground. And oh, that was kind of scary. I thought that I thought the trip was over, because this is like my only camera I can use for normal astro, like at least from my normal plans. I have to I have to have this camera, but luckily it fell on the front of the lens, and only the filter broke, which is kind of good. The rest seems to work. Yeah, bad luck. Well, luck in a bad luck situation. Anyway, it is dark and the Milky Way is already up, or it starts to rise now, and it's so beautiful. I will actually start to capture my first image now, which is a 85mm panorama of this scenery. I really hope that the wind is not that big of a deal. Here and there are some stronger wind gusts, but like I would say yeah, the average wind speed is pretty low at the moment, except for this wind gust. Anyway, I will start and then we will see. Yeah, the wind is not going anywhere, which is quite disappointing. So instead I positioned myself behind this wooden thingy here, which is like bathroom and shower room, which gives me a little bit of wind protection. And now I'm shooting the large Magellanic Cloud up there, and I will probably do a 3x3 mosaic of that, and then I will move a little bit forward to get a different view of the foreground of the landscape to take my foreground shot. And I hope the foreground shot is not affected as much by the wind. So yeah, then I think this is my first shot of the night. The wind situation seems to be calming down a little bit now, and that's like perfect news. Anyway, I'm still shooting the large Magellanic Cloud mosaic here, and I accidentally managed to shoot a wider field of view than I anticipated or like planned in my head, which is actually better now because I also have the small Magellanic Cloud in the field of view now, which is very nice. And yeah, that way I can create a nice panorama of this area, and then with some nice foreground, it should make a nice image. And then yeah, afterwards I think I will do the Milky Way mosaic rising behind all these mountains and all the nice landscape. If the wind situation is like this in, let's say, 20 minutes or so. And yeah. Oh man, I don't know where to start. After rewatching all these clips, I still feel a lot of pain related to this night. All the wind, dropping the camera and almost breaking it. Then the strong light pollution from the main building, which ruined most, if not all, of the possible foregrounds. All this combined really drained the strong motivation I had going into this night. And after trying out multiple things that just didn't want to work out, from all these named reasons, I just wanted to go to bed and skip the night. I have to retake these images. There's a little bit too much wind, I'm afraid. And this one is unusable as well. Very, very cool. Oh, come on. I have honestly no idea what to do. The wind is picking up again. All my shots are blurry. This is camping life. This is pretty nice. I really have to say, the biggest problem we had on this trip so far is wind. It is so bad. At the campsite, it's actually very good. There's no wind at all, maybe a slight breeze, but here at this spot again, super windy. I mean, it's not stormy conditions or anything, but it's bad enough that most of the tracked shots will end up having a little bit of a blur on it. Anyway, let's first polar line, and then I will start with the foreground. That's something I can at least do without having to worry. I'm already done with the foreground, and I just finished my first shot for the sky, and maybe you can hear it. It is still so windy here, and I really hope that the 14mm setup is stable enough for any wind protection. And it is. Hell yeah. Okay, that's nice. Everything is sharp. Yeah, that is very good. Okay. But I have to refocus, sadly. I sadly have to refocus. Anyway, that's very good. And yeah, one thing that was not so good is that all of my foreground shots were out of focus. I actually didn't realize that at first, and yeah, didn't double check on location, and now when I want to process the images, it's more or less unusable. So let's just skip that and forget it. I just arrived at a very, very cool spot, which is a dry riverbed with lots of nice rock formations. And I'm so happy that there's almost no wind. Like, actually, I just started the recording and it's like the first breeze of wind after I arrived here, which is, yeah, I don't know, 5-10 minutes ago. And yeah, my camera's down there already taking the first exposures. I'm doing a focus stacking, and yeah, we have the beautiful Milky Way up there. And man, I'm so speechless. This trip is so good. I'm back at the base camp now, and I already did a 360 panorama of the entire area here. And now I want to focus a little bit more on, yeah, longer focal length panoramas. So I have this nice area of the Carina Nebula region, Coalsack Nebula, and like all this stuff here in mind, with some nice open area here. And yeah, I want to take a nice panorama of that. So let's get started. First of all, of course, have to polar align and make sure that the tripod is level as usual. We're turning on the tracker and then off we go. Let's do the first test shot and see if I'm in focus, and if so, I will start this nice image. Oh man, the last 2 hours were very busy, and yeah, as you can see, there's a big time jump. The moon is already up. It's about 30% illuminated, and it's just beautiful outside. You can still see the Milky Way like perfectly with so much contrast. And yeah, I've taken so many shots tonight. I think I've seen most of them by far, or at least some of them, and it's just beautiful. And I have to say, this was the best night of the trip so far, and this night will probably be in one of the best nights I've ever had. Like for sure in the top 5 so far. But who knows? We have still a few nights left. Well, a few, 10 nights or so. Plenty of time to get even better results. But yeah, it is what it is. Very good. Look at how detailed the Milky Way still is, even with this moonlight. Oh man, I love this. But now it is time for bed. Alright guys, it is night 6, and yeah, what can I say? I think last night was, as mentioned before, one of the best astro nights I've ever had. And well, I think tonight can only be better because yeah, there is no wind. The conditions are absolutely perfect. It is so stunning here. Wow, I'm in the middle of these like grassy hills, mixed with rocks, red dunes. The landscape is so stunning, and I'm going to try to make a huge 180-degree panorama, let's say little bit more, to 40 degrees, to capture the entire Milky Way, with a few bits of the Milky Way from the winter side. So yeah, Orion is already setting, so I can't get that. But yeah, the entire Vela region, Gum Nebula, Carina, the Large Magellanic Cloud, and then the rising Milky Way core here over on the left. And Man, I'm already speaking too much. I have to set up and yeah, make sure to start as soon as possible. Yeah, it's so sad with all the sand here. I can already start to hear like the first. Yeah, probably you can hear it. That doesn't sound good. There's a lot of sand in there now. Well, as long as it works, I don't care. But yeah, when you are in the desert, it is a little bit sandy. Luckily, most of the stuff is already prepared, so I've installed a filter on the lens already. And yeah, everything is charged up. So yeah. By the way, when I'm talking about charging, it is kind of crazy, but also expected that one of the most challenging things on this trip so far is, well, wind, of course, and also keeping track of all the batteries and power banks and everything that you need to keep charged or like recharged during the day. There's a lot of stuff, and when you also want to have some sleep and want to eat and also want to, I don't know, drive around to a new spot and all that stuff, it takes so much time, and in some cases it's almost impossible to recharge things in time. So yeah, I'm packed with 7 power banks, just in case you asked. Yeah, 7 power banks. Mainly 2 of them, 2 powerful ones, or let's say 3 of them are for my deep sky setup. 2 for my laptop and 1 for the dual cameras on top. And yeah, I have to recharge them every single day to at least 80%. If not, then I will have to skip on one night or like can only do a partial night for the deep sky projects. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. For this mosaic, I'm using my go-to equipment, which is the Nikon Z7 Astro modified, and the lens is the Sigma 28 to 45 f1.8. And yeah, the foreground, yeah, I think I will do the foreground with 28 millimeters just to save time. And the sky will be shot at, let's say, 35 or 40 millimeters, something like that, maybe even 45. It depends on how much time I have and how much time I will waste during setup here, because I have to move quite quickly since the sky down here moves also very, very fast. Oh wow, that zodiacal light. Sexy. Okay, I'm not focused 100%. That is expected, of course. Never use a star completely at the edge of your frame to focus any lens. Even if they are perfect, well, I think there are almost no perfect lenses on the market, but even if it's very good, never choose a star right in the like in the top left corner to focus, because otherwise you will probably end up with tilt or some field curvature of the lens. Yeah, always focus in the center or slightly off the center. Everything is sharp, so let's see how much or how long I can expose for the sky. Let's go 1 minute as a test. So the 1 minute exposures were perfectly sharp, so I can start with the foreground now, and I'm actually doing the first exposure now. And yeah, it's honestly quite hard to decide what to do and what not to do. I mean, it sounds strange, but when you are under these skies and if you have like, yeah, zero light pollution in any direction, and yeah, the Milky Way core rising over here, Milky Way, like Orion setting over there, there's so much stuff to do. And yeah, as mentioned, I wanted to do a like 180 to 200 degree panorama from here. And I'm slowly thinking about doing a like full 360 panorama. Yeah, so I'll just do the 200 degree panorama with a little bit more exposure time just to get a super clean shot. And yeah, I think this is probably one of the first super high quality shots of the trip, because all the other trips, all the other nights, yeah, there was way too much wind to do anything. Like I think I got like 1 or 2 good images from Royston Desert Ranch, because there was one night without clouds and without wind. But that was the last night, and we wanted to like go early on, so we didn't do as much, I think, as we wanted. And also, the moonrise was at 1:30 or something, so there wasn't much time to do stuff. But yeah, moonrise is no problem for tonight, which is nice. The moon will rise at, I think, 4:20 or something. It's a 20% moon. And yeah, it's super nice. We have perfect clear skies. It is absolutely crazy. I'm already finished with the foreground and I'm almost halfway through with the first row of the sky. And so far everything works fine. I was actually quite surprised how good my polar alignment was right out of the box, like first try without further adjustments. And yeah, as you can see behind me, the Milky Way core is rising slowly and it's absolutely stunning. I have no words for this. I'm starting to say this again. I have no words for this, but it's true. For us humans, it takes about 30 to 45 minutes to fully adapt to darkness and to like activate our eyes to the full potential. And when I'm standing here right now, like I haven't looked at any bright light source like phone or even the camera light. I've barely looked at it for like longer than like 1 or 2 seconds, and it is really, really surreal, the experience right here. Some of you might have already like seen it or read it on online forums that people are saying that you can see shadows like under truly Portal 1 class skies, and then with the Milky Way core rising, and it feels kind of crazy, but I can approve that it is the way. Like everything here, like has some small shadows. Even this tripod, I can clearly see there's a small shadow. My backpack here is casting a small shadow from the Milky Way core. It feels like the landscape is illuminated by a 10% moon. Like for real. Everything is super bright and I can see everything. I can see distant trees, I can see the camp down there. Nothing is like smeared and like all gray, all black. I can clearly see contrast in the hills here. It's really, really surreal. If you haven't seen that, it's quite an experience. I have to say that, and I'm so thankful that I can be here right now and can take advantage of that. Really, really awesome.